Hello, hello, hello. Welcome and welcome back. Today is day 25 of the Reset My Life 30-day journaling challenge. And we are here today to continue our journey. We're 5 days away from the end of it. So if you want to continue another 30-day journaling challenge, just stay tuned to figure out how and when. And if you've been here before, you already know how and when as well. So I'm excited to go ahead and go through today's journaling prompt with you all because I also have another workshop as well. And like I was saying yesterday, yesterday was the first workshop I gave specifically on strategy and planning. So if you're coming from like Instagram or the website challenge as a course, and you're like, oh wait, what y'all talk about a lot of stuff. Yes, we go over a lot of different things that help you answer your prompts in the most beneficial way to you. So if you're joining this journey not from the live streams, but from Instagram and the website, then definitely feel free to go back and check out some other videos because I'm going to be mentioning a lot of them, especially tomorrow's workshop. But today's workshop is actually about recognizing and seizing your power. Okay. The power that you have to change your life, the power that you have to choose what you want to choose for yourself, the power that you have to completely control your whole reality and figure out what vision is right for you. You have that power. You just have to realize it, recognize it, and seize it. Okay. And this is a journey that I've gone on with myself as well. But I'd like to go ahead and just jump into the rest of this challenge because we're going to be mentioning the rest of everything as we go through today's prompt and workshop. So today I've already started with my affirmations, appreciation, and gratitude. I've written them down already. I started doing them as soon as I wake up in the morning instead of waiting for my live stream to do it. And it just makes my day go a bit better. So I'm here to share those with you all. Okay. My daily affirmation for day 25. I know I am fully capable and equipped to embark on the journey that lays before me, lies before me. I am pleasantly affirmed in myself by every action and choice I make. My appreciation. I appreciate the ways I see the world. I appreciate my commitment to my journey and goals. My gratitude. I am grateful to experience life in such an expansive, empathetic, and introspective way. I am grateful to seize the opportunities that help push me forward on my journey in life. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so those are my affirmational statements and my just daily statements for today. I have been um definitely going through a good bit of my own uh personal challenges the last few days, especially when it comes to not only recognizing my power, but being affirmed and proud of myself and actually acknowledging the things that I do and who I am and the ways that I'm actually embodying me and being very successful at it and being successful at life. So I am definitely on my journey today. I'm not sure if y'all noticed that the energy is a little different, but I'm definitely going through some challenges myself right now, even as it comes to regaining my power and making sure that I'm actually seizing it. So these lessons aren't just things that I'm telling other people to do. Like, this is something that I notice that when I do them, they actually help enhance my life and really push me forward. So, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I didn't even realize I didn't even set up the prompt for you all to view it today. Like, that's how kind of off my day. Not my day, but certain feelings have kind of just made things a little bit off. So, um as I go ahead and switch this photo so that you all can see the actual prompt for today, I'd just like for you to take a moment to give yourself a pat on the back. I know we do that a good bit, but it's really important. Like, really appreciate and be proud of yourself for how far you've come and what you've done for yourself. Okay. It's not an easy task to decide that you're going to change your life. It's not an easy task to decide that the ways that you've been doing things don't work for you and you actually want to make your life a different version of what's going on for you. So definitely be proud of that and affirm yourself in the skills that it took for you to do that. Affirm yourself in the will and the willpower that it took for you to do that. Okay. So today's daily prompt for day 25 of the Reset My Life 30-day journaling challenge is: create a strategy and plan for the next year to help you affirm new beliefs, cultivate support, and bridge the gaps between the you now and the new you in your vision of life. So this may seem and feel a bit familiar to yesterday's. Don't forget to, analyze what feelings you're feeling when you're reading the prompt and writing it down as well for your analysis version 3. But this may seem a bit familiar to yesterday's prompt, which actually was, how have you survived the turbulence in your life? Write a plan and strategy for how you soothe yourself in times of chaos. And you may realize that the strategy that you use to soothe yourself in times of chaos is somewhat similar, if not pretty much the same, as your strategy for uplifting yourself and supporting yourself through this next year. Now, there are definitely going to be things that are added and different. And I want to highlight some things that I added myself when I read my journaling prompt yesterday. I'm actually going to read pretty much all of it again for you guys so that you can see how I um, started to strategize and just create my own plan for this upcoming year. Now, uh, I will say that I went ahead and asked myself, what things would I like to add to this plan and to this strategy that I may not have done in the past? What are some things that I noticed over, my last transformation, or this current transitioning period that I've still been in? What have I noticed I actually need and I can do for myself? Like, I don't have to worry about other people doing it first and then I can do something. Like, what is something that I can do for me that actually helps me push myself forward? Okay. So today I will go ahead and read my journaling prompt from yesterday because that's actually where I wrote my strategy and plan. And we're going to go ahead and keep it pushing. Hopefully you guys have written down your prompt so far. If you haven't, you can pause. It's on YouTube, so you can still pause it even though it's live, and you can still go back even though it's live. And it's still going to be here after we get done. So no worries in thinking that it's going to disappear. You're going to be able to have this knowledge and revisit it when your mind shifts into a whole different space. And that also means that you can gain even new knowledge from these same resources that you've used before. All right. So, my answer to yesterday's prompt, I'm just going to start off with the things that I would add. Okay. These are the things that I said I would add. I would add, after having this past experience. Oh, the things, some things I would add to my plan after having this past experience are: reaching out for help, being audacious to act on my beliefs, staying firm in my opposition to what doesn't work for me, taking my own advice, living vicariously through myself, doing what feels hard as soon as possible, providing feasible and relevant deadlines for myself, and journaling daily, especially the good days, because I found that I don't tend to journal unless it's a really hard moment and I need it. But it's very helpful to journal the good days so that you can go back and see, oh, I'm not as deep in the hole as I think I am. Like, I'm digging myself I'm digging myself out. I'm putting the dirt back under me instead of on top of me. And that can help you do that. Now, my strategy that I wrote yesterday, I'm actually just going to show you guys because I still have it here. Okay, my strategy: 1, assess and acknowledge feelings and their root causes. 2, soothe feelings. 3, think of and do one action that helps me soothe feelings and solve problems. 4, create a full action plan. 5, continuously live each day adjusting to my needs. 6, assess what opportunities around me align with where I currently am and also act as a bridge to my vision. 7, accept all parts of me while embodying who I truly am, one choice at a time. And then 8 is repeat. So, this is my strategy for how I deal with times of chaos. And I honestly don't necessarily see myself adding anything else to that strategy. Maybe um between number 6 and 7. Okay, I see something that I could add. So, new number 7 to my strategy is choose spaces, environments, and people to surround myself with that align with who I am and my vision. Because now we're going to start using the present tense. This isn't somebody that we're going to be. This isn't just a new version of self anymore. As the next 30 days go for me, when I start going over the journaling analysis process as a 30-day challenge with you all on social media, I'm going to be using the present tense as no, this is the new me now. I'm kind of through the really challenging transformation portion of this era of my life, and it's time for me to actually continue to just be that person now. It's no more second guessing of who I am and who I was and who I'm becoming. Like, there's a understanding of who I was, an appreciation of who I was, a lessons learned of who I was. And now, instead of the new version that was new because I was still living in the past, this is just the present me now. This is a new version of me. And it's time for me to acknowledge that. It's time for me to actually step into what that means. Now that I recognize and understand the full power of it. But it took me doing a lot of different 30-day journaling challenges, a lot of just different 30-day challenges in general. It took me honing in and actually focusing on myself and my needs, no matter what my environment has going on around me or says or pressures me to do. It took a lot of guts. It takes a lot of guts to actually go from what motions you're currently in to a whole different set of living. And it definitely is a really deep commitment. And it comes with a lot of hard choices. And I'm understanding that sometimes the hard choices only seem hard because there's certain expectations you have for yourself, or there's certain expectations that other people have for you that you've allowed to place on yourself. And we're going to be talking about that in today's workshop, but that is my strategy that I'm going with for the year. If you need any tips on how to create your own strategy, we are going to talk a little about that in tomorrow's workshop. If you're still a little unsure, because it really depends on your vision of life and your main goals. And we haven't highlighted the main goals for ourselves yet. That's something we're going to be doing tomorrow. So, yeah, if you feel like, okay, I'm not sure if my strategy is like all the way strategying, then continue with the strategy you created yesterday for now. And tomorrow, after the workshop and after the daily prompt, you'll gain more insight into what you need to be able to answer that for yourself. Okay, so now we're going to move into recognizing and seizing power. Okay. This is something that is hard. It's not as actually as not not necessarily easy, because no one specifically says it's easy, but a lot of people say that it's more simple than it is. Like they're like, yeah, just do it. That's the step. Just do it all. Just do it. Make the plan and do it. Make the strategy, do it. But there's more to it than that. The first thing I do when I feel like I've lost my power or I've given up my power or my power has been stolen, the first thing that I do and that I did this past experience with that happening, because I spent a whole 3 or so years feeling like I don't even know what's going on. I felt very confused. I felt very much like I don't have control over my life. I felt like the world was intentionally looking to like keep me down. I felt like a lot of these things. And I decided I'm not going to feel powerless anymore because there are actions and things that I can do to not feel so little in life, right? Sometimes we feel like our choices don't matter and um the words that we say don't matter, who we are around doesn't matter, but all of these things impact not only who you are, but they impact how you feel about yourself and the way that you interact with yourself, the way that you interact with the world. It is very important the people that you surround yourself with. It's very important the words that you feed yourself. It's very important. All of these things are very important. And recognizing that those things have power over you and your life is recognizing that you have power over those things. The words that you choose to tell yourself, you have power over those. You don't have to feel stupid. Stop calling yourself stupid. It may take a while because you've probably been calling yourself stupid for a long time. Maybe people around you are calling you stupid or weird or anything like that. Whatever it is, the first thing you need to do is stop calling yourself those things and seize the power that you need to actually feel like a whole human being who deserves love and grace and kindness and understanding and to be seen. So, the first step in recognizing and seizing your power is, where do I even feel powerless? Is it with the words that I'm using? Is it with the people around me? Is it with my career? Is it with my finances? Is it with my family? What are you feeling powerless in right now? Is the first step. Okay. Once you identify those areas, let me tell you right now, for me, the challenging thing that I've been going through, if you remember from the beginning of the live, I was saying I've been going through some challenges, but I've been feeling powerless in my ability to shift my physical circumstance. I've been feeling powerless in that way. So I had to recognize that. I had to recognize that I feel like I don't have power over the home that I live in and the place where I stay. Like it doesn't feel like a home to me. It feels like a house that I'm staying in and other people are in it, but it's not my home. I don't feel like I have that control and that power over my specific surroundings. So I had to recognize that first before I could even seize that power back. And this is something that I'm actually doing in real time because I was thinking about this yesterday and I was like, okay, something definitely needs to change about the way that I'm trying to go about this. And maybe it's because I'm thinking about it in a way that necessarily isn't helping me. So let me go through the process that I actually need to go through to change my mindset. Okay. And then the second thing you're going to do to help you recognize your power and seize your power is start to understand how power works and is utilized in your life right now. So, when I talked about my physical environment feeling like I don't have power or control there, how is it utilized right now? How do I utilize the space? Me, myself, and I, first of all. Personally, I utilize the space as literally a a roof over my head and AC and air conditioning, somewhere to be able to not be homeless. right? That's how I view and use the power currently of my physical dwelling. Now, the ways that I feel that power is stuck or stagnant is because I'm waiting for and expecting a certain level of emotional support from areas that I already know I'm not going to receive it, instead of going to areas where I know I do receive it, which I've also started changing, especially the last month or so. Going on this next 30-day journaling challenge for me really helped with that. I try to make sure the lighting doesn't get too dark because the sun is going down. But uh it it takes a little bit of humbling yourself and actually recognizing, okay, I'm holding myself back. It's not necessarily that other people are taking from me, it's that I feel it's okay for them to do that. So I allow myself to stay in this sort of situation. And of course, this isn't to say that like there aren't extreme situations where like someone is in a situation that they can't literally have control over themselves, because there are situations like that. This is more of a general life lesson. It's not even necessarily about the physical experience. I'm just using my physical environment as one of the things that I'm regaining power for myself in right now. Okay. And when you realize that the way is utilized in whatever aspect you feel powerless in, once you realize that, you're going to be able to focus. You're going to be able to focus on when certain thoughts pop up that actually go with those things. And you'll realize the number three thing you do when it comes to recognizing and seizing your power is recognize and understand the internal pressures you place on yourself, as well, excuse me, as well as the external pressures you place on yourself. So with my physical environment, for me, the internal pressures I've been placing on myself are directly influenced by external pressures. And the thoughts that go on replay that make me feel stuck and frozen and little and like I'm insignificant, like the choices that I make don't matter, like the things that I'm going through don't matter, like the emotions I'm feeling don't matter. Those things, all of those things can are just boiled down to the internal pressures I placed on myself based on the external pressures I hear. All right. So once you recognize those, it's also up to you to figure out the best way for you to shift those internal pressures. Instead of placing internal pressures on yourself that make you feel insignificant and make you feel fearful or anxious or worry, it's time to place a little pressure under yourself so that you can uplift and support yourself. Put a little pressure under all of who you are. Like actually embrace the power that is. Okay, I'm going to open the door cuz I don't want y'all to get so dark that you can't see me. Okay, there we go. All right. So, after recognizing those external and internal pressures, I was like, okay, what's the next step? And the next step is to recognize innate skills and talents and perspectives that you have, which is what's going to help you place that pressure under yourself so that you can support yourself. So, the ways that I decide to place that supporting pressure under myself when it comes to my physical surroundings and my physical environment is by acknowledging that I do have power in certain ways in certain areas. I'm not necessarily out here just going with the flow on whatever happens in the house. Okay. That's not what it is. There are things that I still have control and power over, and I can recognize the skills and talents that I use to help me do that. I'm a very understanding person, which allows me to be able to say, oh, The external pressures that are being placed on me are based on assumptions and misunderstandings that other people have. They're also based on the perceptions that other people have about the way that life works and the world works. And that has nothing to do with me. So, recognizing your own perceptions, your own skills, your own talents, that's going to help you place that supporting pressure under yourself so that you regain and seize your own power. The next step after that is to recognize opportunities and advantages available to you. Now, I actually, over the past week, was able to start seizing an opportunity that I didn't realize would help me shift my environment because it's so localized to the actual region that I'm currently in. And I wanted to, for so long, just be able to get immediately out instead of using what is in my environment to help me go somewhere else as a jumping point instead of just thinking I'm going to teleport. Like you're not going to teleport. You have to use what's around you to be able to move to whatever new space you're looking to move to. And that takes maybe using an opportunity as a trampoline or the opportunity as a beltway loop to your next version of self. Maybe it's a rope in the middle of a canyon. How whatever opportunity looks like and is around you right now that aligns with you, recognize it. Okay. Number six, for recognizing and seizing your power, create a strategy for times when you feel powerless, which is what I did yesterday in my journaling prompt. And that was the first time that I've actually written it down. I had it in my head, but it being in your head isn't enough. You need to physically see it because usually you are in your head when you're feeling chaotic or powerless or overwhelmed or like life has stagnated. Those are things that keep you from being able to think and use your brain fully. So you need to just be able to have a space where you've written it down already, where it's available to you whenever you need it. Have that strategy. That's what we're doing today. That's what we did yesterday. And we're going to continue to work on that strategy tomorrow. And I'm also continuing to work on my own personal strategy. So I'll keep you guys updated with how this one is specifically going for me and even give a little bit more details when I have decided to do some live streams in a different physical space as well, because I do tend to censor myself a little bit more, uh, just because I know there are certain ears that can and do eavesdrop. Okay. Number seven is follow the strategy and adapt the plans. If you were here yesterday, then you know that we talked about how plans are adaptable and strategies are what stay there. So, to follow your strategy, you're going to have to adapt the plan every now and then. You're going to have to change what's going on. I'm on a phone call. Okay, thank you. Like I said, ears always there, eavesdropping. Okay. Me recognizing that I feel powerless in my ability to be vulnerable at certain moments just because of my environment. That's something that I'm recognizing right now so that I can actually seize that power back and regain it. Okay. Um, After number seven, we have the last thing, which is recognize the power of belief and recognize the power of your actions. Recognize the power of your ability to be authentically adaptive. Okay. I needed to find a different physical space to be a little bit more comfortable to share, even though I'm still within a zone of area that encompasses the whole space itself. I didn't just move to a different room. I went outside and I kind of sat in a car so I could close the door and have those sound barriers for people from people hearing me. Okay. Where is the light? Okay. I'm trying to hurry up. This is the last thing, the last one. I just want to help people understand what authentically adapting is. I wanted to do my live session outside today because I felt the outside energy. The birds were tweeting. It was really nice. The air smelled really nice. The grass looking outside was really nice. And I just felt that energy to move and go outside and be there. So I did, but when I got outside, I was like, I don't want to go into the greenhouse because someone could come in and just start hearing everything that I'm saying. And then I was like, I don't want to take a walk because then neighbors are going to be talking to me. And my neighbor was taking a walk and decided to talk to me. So I was like, let me sit in this car that nobody really drives like that so that I can actually have some intention and space and time for me to actually be able to be vulnerable and open up the ways that I did. And the ways that I adapted, I didn't originally want to do it like this. I wanted to do it just outside in my own backyard with no worries and no feelings of feeling like I had to stop myself from actually sharing all the way. But that didn't happen the way that I saw it happening, but I was still able to come on here, be authentic, and do me and actually give and share what I needed to give and share. And with that, that is the last lesson for recognize and seize your power. I'll read the list one more time. I forgot to write it down the way that I wrote down strategies yesterday. Like I said, today I've been just moving through some challenges and processing for myself. Okay, so to recognize and seize your power, number one, recognize where you feel powerless. Number two, understand how your power works and is utilized in your life now. Number three, recognize external and internal pressures. Number four, recognize your innate and unique talents, perspectives, and skills. Number five, recognize the opportunities and advantages available to you. Number six, create a strategy for times where you feel powerless. Number seven, follow your strategy and adapt your plans. Number eight, recognize the power of belief, your actions, and your ability to authentically today. So with all that being said, if you learned something, if you gathered some knowledge here, like I'm trying to find any sort of light for y'all to see me. But if you learned something, you gained some knowledge here today, then please feel free to share it with somebody that you know will also learn and resonate and gain from this experience. Because why gatekeep knowledge that can help us all? We're all here to just do better for ourselves so that we can do better around the world and in our communities, in our societies, in our relationships, right? And one thing that I learned about myself today is that I definitely have the guts and audacity. I just don't usually use them. I don't usually use them. And the one reason that I don't, I remember hearing this, uh, I think it was just a short video on Instagram or YouTube. And it was like, of course you feel caged and like you don't understand how to adapt to what's going on in your environment. You were raised in uh you were raised in a wolf den, but you're a tiger. Like you just think differently and do different. You even may look differently, and the ways that you need to adapt are different from the ways that the people around you or originally were nurturing you needed to adapt, and that just is what it is. So that's what I've learned about myself today. I can and do have the audacity. I just in the past never usually used it. And that is something that I'm changing. It's just shifting. It's not something that I'm choosing to do anymore. I'm not going to have the audacity. The audacity is all here because I believe and I'm achieving. That's it. Now, that's all. I don't even know y'all can I don't even think y'all can see my face. So, goodbye. Thank you.